Okay, Riding Hood, welcome to your next lesson. So today what we're going to practice is two things. So you can see we're on a gentle hill here. So we need to practice our hill starts. And then as you're coming back, and when you're going up the hill, I also want you to practice a little later changing down gears when you're going up a hill, so the motor doesn't chug too much and potentially stall. Makes it easier on the bike and easier to get up the hill. And then also when you're coming down, changing down gears to go into corners or down a hill. Just think about that and just practice doing that when you're out riding. But initially, can you hear me from that far away? Yes? Okay. Initially is what I want you to do, practice more than anything else, is starting, and how to do that on a hill. Because if you come up to a traffic light and it's on a hill and you have to stop, then you have to be able to get going, obviously, without stalling, or you feel the pressure of the cars behind you then and the traffic and things like that. So different people do it different ways. Generally what I do when I'm coming to a stop, I'm always using my front brake most of the time, but I'll pull that in, and then when I get to a stop I will then change and use my back brake to hold the bike. So I'll have my clutch in, obviously, because I slow down, I'm in first or second, and then I click it down to, while I've got the front brake on, I make sure I click down into first gear. I've still got my my clutch in there. Then I switch to my foot brake. This is particularly useful, handy if you're on a steep hill on dirt or gravel trying to start. I find it much better to use the back brake to get going again, because it frees up your hand for the accelerator a bit easier than trying to do both. But after a while on flats and things like that, you'll just stop with your front and then you can accelerate okay with that. But initially I would practice holding the bike with the back brake just to free up that hand, and then so you're ready to go. So it's going to be a little bit harder. It's easy to stall the bike on a hill. And generally what I'm doing, it's in first gear already, so I've got my left foot down on the ground, I've got my right leg and my right foot on the brake, and that just means I can hold the bike until when I'm letting go of the clutch till the gear bites in, and then I can let go of the brake and get going. But it'll take a little bit of practice, and the steeper the hill the harder it is. But you will find a lot of traffic lights are on hills, so it is a bit tricky, and it's something that it's a good thing to practice, and practice on various size hills, different levels of steepness. Same when you're learning to drive a car, they'll want you to do hill starts in the test and things like that, exactly the same thing. So I think initially stop with your front brake, unless it's on gravel, then slow down with your back brake. Then once you know the bike's in first gear, put your left foot on the floor, on the ground, your right foot on the brake. That frees up that hand. You don't have to hold that brake on then, which is your front brake, and this is your back brake. The one with your foot is your back brake. Then you've got a control of the accelerator. Then as you let the clutch out, same as when you're first starting from our first lesson, as it begins to bite, then you can let the brake off. So as the engine starts to bite and you start to feel it pull, then let the brake off so it can do the rest. You will stall a bit, that's just normal, we all do it, so don't worry about that. So this is a gentle hill, practice on this a few times. Then when you're confident, we'll find a little bit of a steeper hill after you've done it a few times. So we'll go up and down here. When we're coming back, when we're coming back, just practicing changing down a gear before you come down the hill and into the corners. So just do those two things now. We'll worry about other stuff later. So I'll put that back in neutral. It's hard to see in this light. Okay, did that all make sense? Anything else you want to ask? Yeah, just take it all in yourself. I'll let you focus on that. I'll just stand there. I won't say anything unless you want to ask me any questions. That's all right.
So I've got my foot on the front brake.
So that's
I mean,
your
the foot
back
brake.
brake. Your foot brake is your back brake.
And I
And
am
that one
in
is your front
neutral.
brake. So I use that to stop, get the bike in neutral or in first gear. On a hill, always leave it in first probably. And then you can put your foot on that one and let this one go.
Okay, so in first.
Yep.
Put my foot
So
on
you're in
the
first
back
gear
brake.
now.
Give it a little. And okay, good.
Perfect.
Again. Oops.
All it means is you need to give it a bit more rev.
Okay.